I guess you wonder where I've been.
uh, Welcome to Duck Boys. I'm
My name
Tristan.
my name is Sam. Uh, I guess you wonder where we've been.
Yeah. Sorry, this is the second time recording this because interruptions in the first one. Um, and I wasn't about to edit all of that. I don't have
Yeah.
time.
Uh,
Uh,
yeah. Anywho, you may have noticed that there was not an episode last week if you're a regular listener, and if you're from the great state of Texas, then you would know why that is.
mhm.
And if you're not from the great state of Texas, you probably saw it on the news because it was national.
So I feel like I'm
Um,
having fucking deja vu. Go ahead.
Perhaps. Uh, that would be because Mother Nature just raw dogged us last week.
Yeah.
Texas does not have the infrastructure in place to deal with cold weather. We are tough cowboy people, but we are gentle when it comes to ice.
Yeah, give us 105-degree weather like for I don't know 2 weeks straight. We'd be like, okay, whatever. Like this is life. Give us sub 30-degree weather for like what was it like 4 days? Uh, it's the end of the fucking world for us, dude. One of my friends was walking over from her place to my place, and she was like, I felt like I was in a fucking apocalypse movie because there's just people just bummed out at the trash cans that are on fire and
Oh my!
like warming their hands and then like catcalling her. And she was
Just like
like,
walking over and men next to like a 55-gallon barrel are
yeah,
just like looking at you with a dead look in their eyes, trying to warm
uh-huh.
their cold hands.
She was like, it was scary. Like her apartment complex is literally across the street from mine. And so I was like, yeah, because she was like, yeah, I'm just bored. Like, can I go over and like hang out with you and Addie and everybody? I was like, sure, yeah. We don't have power, but if you bring over candles and stuff, we'll be nice. It'll be nice, kind of thing. And so she just
Make your peace offering. I come to you with 3 candles.
Becca, she is that's my friend's name. We needed to light our grill. We didn't have a grill, but we got one from Logan,
Hmm.
and we were like, okay, we have no lighter fluid. How the fuck do we do this? And Becca's like, wait, I've been waiting my whole life for this moment. And she like just leaves, goes back to her place, across the street, goes back to her place, comes back, and she has like an empty candle holder full of lint, like lint from the dryer. And she's like, I knew this would come in handy. And it worked because like that's how we got our grill going because we had charcoal and shit. We just didn't have anything to like ignite it. And so we got the matches and we got the lint and it worked.
These these broads, they taste like Levi's. What
I
is
thought you
this?
meant I thought you were calling Becca abroad. I was like, that's an old name, bro.
This broad. She this broad tastes like Levi's. No.
I was like, where? I was like, this is an off kilter joke for Sam. I was like, it's usually me making the really racy jokes.
Salutations and welcome, one all, and to the return of the Duck Boys Podcasting Network.
um
I get nervous. I talk like this. See,
yeah, so like it was definitely a survival skills test. um I learned that I would be fine. I learned that if people were around me, we'd be pretty much fine. um
but one of them betrays you.
yeah, until we have the Judas. Speaking of Judas, I watched Judas and the Black Messiah this past week.
I have heard that name, and I know nothing else beyond the name.
It's based off a true story. It has oh my god, his name's like Daniel. Oh
Craig.
no. He is not the Black Messiah. James Bond is not the Black Messiah.
Could be if it was Idris Elba.
God,
God
I
bless
hope
that
so.
man.
Jesus, that's a gorgeous man. Uh but no, Daniel, oh my god, I don't want to butcher his name. Let me hold on. Hold on. Daniel Kaluuya. Yeah, Kaluuya.
Kaluuya.
Yes, he
Daniel
played.
Kaluuya, famous inheritor of Kahlua liquor.
He was actually the actor in he was the one from the not the Jabari tribe, but like the tribe in Black Panther from the one that ends up betraying him.
Yeah, that ends up betraying him.
Yeah, like he joins with I guess spoilers for Black Panther.
Oh, okay. I was thinking
Yeah.
of the wrong dude. I was thinking of the tribe that lived up in the mountains.
No, that's I
But
believe
the
that's the
other
Jabari
other
tribe.
one.
Yeah, the other guy, the one that's on the council at first.
Yes.
Yeah, he plays him. Uh, I believe was he the same actor from Get Out?
I think
Yes, he was the
so.
same actor from Get Out. And he plays this dude, and like it's just based off a true story. I forget who it's based off. Let me. It's an American biographical drama film about the betrayal of Fred Hampton, played by Daniel Kaluuya. He was a leader of the Black Panthers out in Chicago, and it's about the story of this one guy who ended up. He was like just some random like criminal off the street. He's played by Lakeith Stanfield. Fucking loves Lakeith Stanfield. If you watch Atlanta, I if you don't watch Atlanta, I highly recommend it. It's that was probably if it's they're filming. I know they're filming season 3 and 4 right now. But anyways, um, it's about the betrayal of Lakeith Stanfield and Daniel Kaluuya, but with the actual names of Fred Hampton and stuff like that. Because he was very much a radical. I mean, he was part of the Black Panther Party. Fred Hampton was, and he was like the leader of it in Chicago. And pretty much at the end, I guess spoilers. I don't know if there's ever like really spoilers for something that happens in real life.
Spoilers for a historical event that has already occurred several decades ago.
Yeah, back in like the 70s or something like that. Uh, he is killed. Fred Hampton is killed by the police because they're like, "Oh, he has a gun, dude." He was asleep. He was drugged and asleep, and he was drugged by the guy that Lakeith Stanfield plays, and he's um
Mm.
the not the actor, but the actual guy himself. Like I said, he started off as like he was a car thief who was caught, and the FBI was like, "Hey, you work for us now," and then he joined the Black Panther Party, got very close to Fred Hampton, and then ended up like believing in what was going on because he was like, "Oh, this is like a good movement kind of thing." He's like, "There's some things that are a little radical." He's like, "But overall, he believed in it, and like he got really into his role so much so that he started believing in it and like started turning on the FBI." But then he found out there was other informants in the FBI that were in the Black Panther Party, um, and like if they got found out, the Black Panthers would like brutally kill them. They torture and then kill them. So he was like, okay, like that. He didn't need any fear mongering from the FBI because all the FBI would do would be like, okay, then we're just going to tell them that you're a rat, kind of thing. And so at the end, he ends up poisoning or like drugging Fred Hampton, and the police come in, raid in, and shoot up the place and murder him, just sleeping in his bed, like 2 shots to the head while he's asleep.
Mm.
Um, and so Judas and the Black Messiah, right? The betrayer. Craziest part at the end, of course, was the murder, um, but also that there was a documentary in like the 80s or 90s about this guy, about the guy that Lakeith Stanfield is playing, and once it aired, like literally on the day that it aired, the guy, like the actual guy, killed himself because he just couldn't live with the shame of the fact or of what he did, and like
Well,
at least being brought out to the public. But
yeah.
he like he cooperated with the people who were doing like with the producers of the original documentary and things like that. He gave his own like, yeah, no, this is what I did, kind of thing. It was a really powerful movie, especially to watch at like 8 o'clock in the fucking morning.
I imagine. Yeah, it's not exactly a cup of morning Joe to start the day.
Yeah. Speaking of Cup of Morning Joe, it is currently 10:30 right now, 10:30 in the morning. Most of the time we record these in the afternoon
For
or
the evening, rather.
evening. So it's like kind of acceptable to drink. But we just decided it's not right now.
Yeah,
So
perhaps I work later today, so maybe not drink before I work.
mhm.
So,
I have to take my dog to the groomers in like an hour. So
oh, how exciting.
yeah. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Sam, what did you want to talk about? We
Well, we
covered the winter
covered
storm.
Snowmageddon, and then you had a little tidbit on the Black Messiah there. I guess so. I finally hopped on the WandaVision train. I was super, super late to that. WandaVision, as in the Marvel television series
On Disney
uh,
Plus.
on Disney Plus. That's correct. Very, very good. I don't know why I waited, but the season finale comes out on the 26th, which
Mhm.
is this Friday. That show is very, very good. I guess there will probably be spoilers ahead because I'm discussing it. So if you have not yet watched WandaVision up through episode 7,
Seven, yes, up to the one before the season finale.
yeah, if you've not watched up to that point and you intend on doing so, probably click away and do that real quick.
Up to the point where I'll bleep all that out.
Bastard. Uh, yeah, so sort of covering everything that's happened. I don't need to do that because you just watch the show if you care, and if you don't care, then you won't watch. So,
Yeah.
very, very, very good. Lots of twists and turns, and quite literally every episode. I always like a good mystery, especially when it's presented in a TV setting.
Mm-hmm.
So it has definitely caught my attention and made this very exciting. And it's hard to do that for me. I'm not a big TV series person. It's very hard for me to get into a show, um, even movies for that matter. Like I have to have a very strong recommendation to see a movie. I won't be like, oh, that looks semi interesting. I'll watch that.
So okay, I saw. I'm gonna go more into like Easter eggs than like what's going on because watch the fucking show, and if you have watched the show, you know exactly what the fuck's going on. Um. Uh. So Agatha, right?
Agatha Harkness.
So she is in the comics. She is the one that teaches Wanda like the really like dark and like cool magic, like the world altering magic, more so than she knows right now. Like right now, she's very much raw power.
Well,
But in the
isn't it?
comics, Agatha teaches
She's
her like the magical, the mystical ways.
also the owner, and the TV show confirms this and backs this up. Of the that book starts with
Hmm.
a D.
Yeah,
I cannot remember what the name of the book is, but it's like an object of power per se within the Marvel universe.
yeah. Did you have you seen the thing about the Easter egg with the book?
I have not. No.
If you go back and you watch Doctor Strange,
Okay.
um, he at this point he has already met Wong and he's met the Ancient One,
Okay.
and they're discussing him becoming or him like being part of this society, right? Of being part of this like magistrate, if you will. Uh, he's going and looking at a wall of books, and there's one book missing, and that missing book happens all these years later, and you see it in WandaVision.
Interesting.
So they've had this planned out years in ahead.
Continuity. My sister is very excited for Multiverse Madness to come out.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be like a horror movie.
Well, Doctor Strange is her most favorite prized character within the Marvel Comics universe, so she's very, very, very excited for that.
Uh,
Yeah, more Marvel stuff coming out, and
uh,
I feel like this is good for them because this is the first time I feel like you have a Marvel TV series that is very widely accepted. Because
mhm.
the other ones, I'm not saying that they're bad, but they haven't had the same critical acclaim that WandaVision is currently receiving.
Yeah, because when it came to TV
Uh,
shows, DC definitely led the path in that compared to that of Marvel.
right, comparatively speaking. Holy moly! Guess that coffee's not fully kicked in yet. Uh, but I mean, DC would had Supergirl, Green Arrow was probably one of the more popular, if not the most popular among DC
I
TV
think
shows. The
Flash.
Flash,
Flash is probably the most popular now. Arrow started it all off, and then Flash, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow. Now they have. Yesterday they just aired Superman and Lois. Um,
oh yeah, I did see some advertisements for that. And then on the Marvel end, it's been like Agents of Shield and
Inhumans that
Jessica
failed.
Jones.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, even then,
Yeah,
that technically wasn't Disney property. It wasn't until a few days ago did they get Jessica Jones and Daredevil back.
right. And then they had that. Was it Cage? Was a
Oh,
show
Luke
about Luke
Cage.
Cage that they were going to do, and that didn't really take off either. Um, what we're trying to say is the DC has had more success historically with TV shows, but it seems like that may be shifting because Marvel's now capitalizing on their star power per
Yeah,
se
because
with
they have
these
Paul
more
Bettany and um, uh,
Elizabeth Olsen.
yes, Elizabeth Olsen reprising their characters. And I mean, because after WandaVision wraps up, there's like 2 weeks, and then it's Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yes,
That one
so
I'm
they're
really
really
excited
starting
about.
to they're really starting to roll out all of these new TV series that, like I said, capitalize and take full advantage of their most popular characters from their movies.
What
So
I've heard from it was either Kevin Feige, and I apologize for interrupting you. It was either Kevin Feige, which is like their lead Marvel guy, or what's our boy's name, John Favreau. Um, that what they're doing with Phase Four is, other than like Spider Man, I think the only movies that they're coming out for Phase Four is Spider Man. Uh, is it Shang Sun or Shang Li or something like that? And then Captain Marvel 2, and that's it. Those are like the only three like big movies coming out. Everything else is going to be through Disney Plus, because he wants, even like their big like Thanos level thing, it's going to be Secret Wars, and it has to do with things from Captain Marvel. Uh, it's a fantastic comic book series. I'm hoping that they do decent in this. But it's that's going to be also a Disney Plus show as well. Um, but yeah, so like this is kind of what we're going to see Marvel as, and it seems like we're going to get more movies from DC on the other side of the spectrum. So I guess it's one of those we shall see, because I mean we still have the Loki series coming out.
that's true.
We have oh, it's it's like Elseworlds. I forgot what they call it. Oh, it's called What If, Marvel What If. And that's like an animated series about like different else worlds going on in the multiverse. So it very much does seem like we're going to go more into the multiverse, especially with all the rumors with Spider-Man.
Yeah, so if comic book and comic nerdiness is your thing, then it'll be an exciting year for you. Um, and then alongside those things, more Tristan's category than my own would be the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League being being teased to come out very
Yes.
very soon.
Yes, March 18th to be exact. Yeah, it's so we got the Justice League, or as everybody now lovingly calls it, the Justice League, on based off Joss Whedon, who fucking butchered the movie. Everybody. So I actually saw this. It was either a tweet or just like something that somebody put out, that he was like the head AD, the assistant director, or something like that for the original Justice League, and then after Snyder got fired, he was still the AD for Justice League, and he was like, I just remember watching what came out in the theaters and being like, wow, why did I work on this? Like he hated every second of it. He's like, this isn't what it was supposed to be. And
And
all the fans were like, yeah, that's same. Like,
Well, then Whedon's come under a lot of fire for what even treatment of like people on set,
Yeah, with
right?
Ray Fisher especially, he's leading the charge,
Yeah. Ray
saying that
Fisher, actor for Cyborg.
yes, um, he was saying like uh, there's like racism on set, there's sexism, like especially with like Gal Gadot, uh, and he has gotten Warner Brother in a lot of trouble, and they can't really fire him because then they'll be kind of proving his point because he's like they can't touch me because they know that I can just do a lawsuit and that I'll be right. And so they haven't said they've addressed it like maybe once or twice, and it's very vague. Um, I think it came out or like their lawyer was like, oh, we haven't found anything, and every time he threatens like, well, I'll get my lawyer involved in it. They're like, no, we'll accommodate kind of thing. And so very much Warner Brothers is very much under fire right now from their actors and like it's not just Ray Fisher saying these things. Jason Momoa has put something out about it. Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot. The only one from the Justice League that hasn't put it out is Henry Cavill, but I think his is more of the stance of I don't have a stance in this because I wasn't treated any differently.
Hmm.
Being like a white male kind of thing.
I
Uh,
mean, yeah,
that and
but
I don't
I also feel like a non-stance,
is a stance, right?
is in and of itself like, you know, if you're just a passerby that does nothing, then I'm not saying you're as guilty as the perpetrator, but you do have, some responsibility to speak up and act out.
Or maybe he just didn't really see it or notice it because everybody else that has seen it is either American or has been in America for a very long time, like Gal Gadot. Um, and so they're used to this. They're used to like spotting discrimination. While I don't know, I don't want to speak for the English people, uh, but maybe that's what it is over there. Of like, you know, I don't see it that often. It definitely happens over there. I've seen videos of it, but maybe it's not as I guess taught into the people of hey, this is how you look search for discrimination.
Well, I feel like it's definitely more on the American radar as well because we truly are the most diverse country on the planet.
Yeah.
And a result of that diversity is being more in tune and aware of when those, varied um, different cultures come and often clash in the wrong way. Because this country is still growing and readjusting to its identity, even though we're approaching 250 years down that line. No, we're
Past
yeah
that, I think
200. No, it'd be 2026
.250
would be 250. So
coming up.
getting there, getting there, and
Yeah.
we're still it's still sort of coming to terms with what America is and what the melting pot of the world means.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I can get into a long debate about that, but I want to stick to the Snyder Cut. Um, it just looks like it's what we want. Like we
well,
all agreed. I mean, like think you have fucking Batman. You have Batman on there. It's gonna be a dark movie. Like the DC like comics and everything like that. Like yeah, back in the day we had like Christopher Reeve Superman, who I adore because that's who we needed back then. In the 80s, you needed that kind of like shining light, and that's what superheroes were known as. But now within comics and even because of like the Avengers and stuff like that, right? Uh, we see them more as like as being people. Batman has this quote about Superman. Now, like I said, I can go into like tangents and tangents about Superman, um, but like Batman has a quote about Superman where he's like, "Out of all of us, Clark Superman is the most human because." At the end of the day, he has his flaws. You can't make him the perfect Boy Scout every single time because then he's not interesting. He's not an interesting character. At first, yeah, it would seem cool. Like, oh, good, we have the goody two shoes. And then you go 2 stories into it, and then it's like, okay, he's still doing the right thing all the time. Good, yay. It's like, no, he's flawed. It sucks that your heroes have to be flawed, but they are, because they're people.
Well, I think it's something that's showed up too, even within WandaVision, is when you show the more human side, per se, of a hero, uh, it becomes a more relatable character, one that you can attach yourself to, which is incredibly important when you're trying to tell a story. So you want people to invest a part of themselves in the narrative. Um, and along that line of storytelling, I feel like DC, with the Snyder Cut, anyways, sticks to what DC is and what it's known for, telling a darker, more difficult story to tell, right? It's not as easily advertisable to a wide audience because there are nitty gritty details to it. Marvel has established itself as like the more lighthearted, filled with a bunch of in jokes and sort of witticisms like that.
Mhm. It can
And
have serious undertones, like like Winter Soldier is a very serious movie. Endgame is a very serious movie, but that, like Sam was saying, that uh, that underlying thing of, well, we started off with Iron Man, and he was very weird. I mean, Iron Man's a pretty serious movie. I mean, he's pretty much a POW uh,
well, he's a
in
POW,
Afghanistan.
and he has to come to terms with the fact that his company is directly or indirectly responsible for the deaths of possibly hundreds and or thousands of innocent deaths.
Yeah, and like that's
Not a
not
light topic.
yeah, not at all. Uh, but they're luckily, because of I would say for sure John Favreau and Robert Downey Jr. They were able to make it to, like, probably one of the best movies in the Marvel universe, and it's serious, but also, as Sam was saying, lighthearted and very witty. While Man of Steel is the foundation of the DC cinematic universe, or the DC extended universe, I think they're calling it. Um, and that's not really a lighthearted movie. It's about this man who was born on a different planet, has always felt different his whole life, and now somebody from his planet, who he hopes to God is good, ends up not being good and tries to destroy the planet that he's known his entire life. And so it's up to him to stop it. And so it's like, okay, serious. Oh, excuse me. It's a serious topic on the first go, and it's hard to be lighthearted in a situation that involves the just destruction of all of humanity.
This is true.
Yeah.
I feel like the main message that at least I feel like I'm trying to communicate with pointing out these differences is that you should just stick and commit to whatever tone it is that your movie is going to have. Do not try to pull yourself in too many different directions. Otherwise, you don't really make a significant impact in any one area. If your movie's going to be dark, lean into it and let it be dark.
Mm-hmm.
If your movie's going to be lighthearted, like Thor Ragnarok, that movie is very much a lighthearted. There are some serious moments, but that's not really the primary. The movie opens with the main character bound in chains and literally with face to face with the doom of his people. And it's just like, oh, wait. Oh, hold on. I'll turn back around in just a sec. Okay. Hold on. We're coming around. Like it's from the beginning that's established that that's the kind of movie it is. Where
Because it starts off with a fourth wall break, or was that the trailer?
I think that's the trailer that had the fourth wall break. But I'm saying if you set a tone for your movie, have that be the tone. Don't try to go. I feel like that's maybe what a lot of people had as an issue with the original cut, or not the original cut, but the released cut of the Justice League movie, was that it was trying to be too many different things that DC is not typically known for. There are exceptions. Like I feel like Shazam was a good movie.
Yeah, because it's about a 13-14-year-old kid having to adjust to being a superhero. That's going to be a lighthearted movie.
Right. There are some serious scenes, but the lightheartedness is the main focus of the movie, right?
Bro, for that movie, whenever they did the seven deadly sins, I was like, "Wow, that's a twist!" Like it was so graphic. Like even for being really
Yeah.
lighthearted, and then like just for like that, just the one meeting room scene, I was like, "Wow, this is terrifying." And then went back to being just like regular old, lighthearted Shazam.
Right. You can have moments like that,
Yeah,
right? Where it gives those scenes more impact. But if you're trying, scene by scene to be, okay, this scene will be very brooding and serious and dark and, emotionally tense. And then the next scene after is like, anyway, what's the deal with airplane food? And I'm like,
yeah.
I don't feel like I'm on board with this. I don't know.
Yeah, because like I think the most lighthearted we got to see Batman and anything that Snyder touched was whenever it was after the Batman and Superman fight, and they were fighting Doomsday, and Superman had just been nuked, and so he was like MIA. And it was right before Wonder Woman came in. He's flying around Doomsday in his little bat jet. Doomsday takes him out, and then Doomsday like is face to face with him and starts like blowing his laser beams at him, and he just goes, "Oh shit!" Like that's like I was like, that's as funny as Batman needs to be. I was like, Batman is a serious character. I was like, he's funny in the fact that he's the straight man, he's the
Right. The deadpan delivery.
yeah, and like if you watch any of like the animated series, that's how he is. Like, there's this one scene that I always think of, where his bat jet once again gets destroyed, and he's just plummeting to the ground, and he's like on his comms, and he's like, um, "Can somebody pick me up? I'm falling, and I can't fly." And like he's just deadpan the entire time and plummeting to his death. And like that's Batman humor compared to him actually trying to crack jokes.
Right. Being more overt about it.
Yeah.
Um, Anywho, I guess that would be my spiel. That would be my thing. As somebody who has no experience whatsoever in producing stories or being a creative director or being just a director for a movie in general, um, my very unprofessional advice is stick to your thing and
Yes.
do that thing and do it well. And don't try to be a jack of all trades and a master of none.
Yeah. So I guess this is a good time to announce something that I've been working on, and that I continue to be working on and will be coming out in the next few weeks or so. Um, I have a show coming out, not a solo show, and not like it's another podcast. Uh, it's me, our guest star from what was it, 2 or 3 episodes ago, Jamie. It's me, Jamie Dehart, and my friend Colby. Um, and we are huge comic book fans. If you couldn't tell from um, this last, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes of dialogue, uh, I love comic books. Jamie is a newfound comic book lover, and she's huge into it and is desperate to learn so much as she can. And Colby grew up like me around comic books and all that media. I'm definitely more the comic book guy. Jamie is kind of the all around because she's new to everything. Um, she's the newbie, and then Colby is definitely more the media guy. Um, and so yeah, it's a comic book podcast coming to you soon. It's called Catching Kryptonite. Uh, so I will definitely make more announcements on it on the Duck Boys Instagram, and probably through my own Instagram as well. Um, I don't have a release date for it because, as we said earlier, this week has been complete hell for us. So I have to catch up, and I know so does Jamie and Colby. Um, we might get Sam on there here and then because Sam has some good input, especially being kind of the outside guy. Uh, it's
It would be an unbiased third party opinion, and it would not be a professional opinion, but hey,
Yeah, but you ask good questions, and I really enjoy that because I think the best way to learn something is to teach it and to also hear it be taught.
that's fair.
So the yeah, Catching Kryptonite coming soon. That's our official announcement. With that being said, do you want to just go straight into this is why we clink? How we clink? We clink by doing this.
We think like this. Yeah, I'm actually out of coffee, but we'll just pretend that I'm not.
Yeah, I'm pretty much out of protein shake, so
I guess positives this week. I have returned to my initial form. I got my head buzzed, which I did about this time last year, give or take. Um, yeah.
yeah.
So it's been a year, and look how far we've come.
Yeah, look at the beard. The beard
So
wasn't really there whenever you first shaved it either.
no. The beard is the beard's my personality now. If I lose this, I have nothing. So
Or like your
everything that's interesting about me would just go away.
like your ex coworker said, no, but like a beard.
Bro, I'll throw that one in here too because it's not necessarily a clink, but it's hilarious. Real quick one. I work at a new place of employment now. Love it there. Love the people there. They're all great. At my previous place of employment, I loved the people that I worked with as well. But I just had to leave for a number of reasons. And one of them there made a point of telling me out of the blue, she was like, "Hey, don't grow a beard." And this wasn't like several months ago. This was like maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I didn't grow this in a week and a half, 2 weeks. And if you watch the show, you know that. So I told her, I was like, if you haven't noticed, I already have one. She was like, no, but like a real beard. I'm like, what? What the? I never talked to you in the first place. And you're going to reach out to me randomly just to tell me that the thing on my face is not a real.
Like, it would make sense to like somebody like me who gets like scruffy here and that's about it. And like, it's like a poor scruff. Like I look homeless whenever I try to grow it out. Sam has a beard. Like you can't argue the fact that Sam has a beard.
No, but like a real beard.
Oh, right.
What?
Sorry.
What is this then? Implants, all implants. That shit that Elon Musk did to the front half of his head after he got rich, I did to my entire face. Anyways, clinking and shaving my head again, and this time being emotionally stable for that decision.
Hell yeah.
Bada big, bada boom. All that definite coffee that was in that cup is so good.
God, I just have nothing but grounds of protein, and like I just swallow chunks of protein.
The grounds are the best part, whether it be coffee or protein shake. What are you celebrating this week or this last 2 weeks?
I don't know. Like...
You went and saw your family.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I guess that's nice.
Yeah, I saw my mom and my dad. I guess that's okay.
Yeah, no, I saw them. I've been planning something to do with the boys over spring break. Sadly, Sam won't be there, but Sam has his own adventure going on after our spring break.
This would be true.
Yeah, we're gonna go do brewery stuff, like go to different breweries and things like that. I guess. Officially, well, not officially, because we haven't signed anywhere. But Addie and I are moving in together. It's a very big leap, and don't worry, I'd make fun of us too, because we've only been dating for like a little over 3 months now. But just circumstances came up, and we're like, we have to. It's not out of we want to; it's because we have to. It's that, or I have to commute an hour plus every single day, and she would be out of roommates and would have to pay for her own place. So we're like, what if we're probably gonna get like a 2-bedroom, and just in case, knock on wood, if something happens, we have our own sanctuaries, but we needed a place.
We all know the best way to make a significant decision is being forced to do it. So
yeah. So I'll cling to that. I love her to death. So speak of the devil.
Well, I guess that sort of wraps up this week's episode. Thanks for being patient with us. And
people in the back.
You're so bad at that. You just got
Me?
Yes, you.
I can't hear him. I can't see him either. What do you mean I'm bad at that?
Just don't say anything when you walk in.
I'm just never gonna talk to you again.
Okay. So we're moving in together, right? And
And I'm never speaking to him again.
Anyways, thanks for joining us this week. Thanks for being patient with us after last week's shenanigans with Mother Nature and her incredible temperament in this great state of Texas. We hope to see you again next week. And all Quack.
no whack.
Much love. Take care.
Ciao. Fuck, I'm tired.